Today we're driving the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. This is Jeep's plug-in hybrid Wrangler. It goes 22 miles on a full charge in electric-only power, and then the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder kicks in, and you can drive about 370 miles on a full charge and a full tank of gas. So, kind of the best of both worlds. Who would have thought, though, that Jeep's first plug-in hybrid would be the Wrangler? It's a very interesting blend between the future of powertrains and a vehicle that feels like it's from the past. We have a 17.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack hidden right there under those rear seats. 2 electric motors, a small one at the front axle, and then another one at the rear. And because this is the Rubicon, we still get all of the off-road capability that we're used to. We have 2 high, 4 high auto, 4 high part-time, and 4 low, as well as locking front and rear differentials, sway bar disconnect, a couple different battery modes here. You can put it into hybrid, full electric, or e-save, where it just saves your charge, or will charge the battery with the gasoline engine, which is pretty cool. Let's walk you around this new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, show you what it's like inside and out, talk about what it's been like to live with this week. We'll take it for a drive and give you some impressions on the road. We've got our first snow day here in Michigan. Unfortunately, we don't have too much accumulation, so we won't be hooning this too much, but we'll just be doing the regular mall crawl drive in this video. So really, visually, there aren't too many differences between the 4xe and the standard Rubicon. You get these blue accents around your Rubicon badges, your recovery points. You've got a 4xe badge right here on the hood, and then of course here is your charge port. I've been plugging this into 240 all week, and it charges pretty quickly. It's a bit colder this week, so I haven't been getting the full 22 miles of range, but it's been pretty close, depending on how you drive this thing. It's rated for 49 MPGe, so not the most efficient battery-powered vehicle. And then once the gasoline engine kicks on, you'll get about 20 miles to the gallon. So it's actually a little bit less efficient than the 2-liter Jeep on its own, and that's because of the extra weight. This is still about 200 pounds heavier than the heaviest Wranglers, the diesel and the Rubicon 392. And from a base Jeep, it's about 1,100 pounds heavier. So it's packing some weight. It's about 5,300 pounds, depending on how you spec it and how many steel bumpers and accessories that you have. This has all the accessories. Starting price is about $56,000. This is spec'd up to 69 grand. It's pretty pricey, but you do get a federal tax credit, so the battery pack in here is large enough to qualify for that. And you can see it right there. 17.3 kilowatt hours right under the passenger seats. You hear a little bit of a click when you start it up and turn it off, but that's about it. Otherwise, this is your standard Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. It's a very familiar place. It drives about the same as the other Rubicons do. Maybe it feels a little bit more solid, a little bit more hefty because of that extra weight. You don't lose any cargo space back here because the battery is hidden under the rear seat, which I think is fantastic. Gone are the days where we're sacrificing cargo space for batteries. It's intelligent packaging on Jeep's part there. Let's take a look under the hood, show you some of the running gear here. Just as the 4-cylinder kicks on. Besides, for a couple extra high voltage wires, you wouldn't really know that this is an electric powertrain combined with the gasoline engine. We have steel bumpers, front and rear, 33-inch tires. This has a bunch of packages. I'll include all those in the description. Let's check out the back seats here. Pretty familiar looking place. We have this fold back roof, which is a super nice option. You can just kind of press a button and it becomes a convertible at a moment's notice. Of course, you can take the doors off, the side panels, all from this Wrangler very easily. The back seats are still very comfortable, feel pretty normal compared to other Rubicons. The battery doesn't really change anything with that respect. We still get a couple cup holders back here, window switches, USB outlets. All right, I think let's take this Wrangler Rubicon 4xe for a drive and see what it does on the road. Jeep still hasn't addressed this little thing where we've got a nice puddle forming whenever it's raining. That's always fun. It's the rain rail that stops just about a few inches too early. We've got all the quirks, all the fun little parts of these Jeeps. You've got the little logo climbing the windshield over there. You've got your Wrangler grab handles. These seats are pretty comfortable. It all is very functional and off-road focused in here, and I like that. Here's what the reverse camera looks like. Nice and high res. Turning lines. We're going to start off in 4 high auto. In 2 high, the drivetrain will limit your power off the line just a little bit, so let's get our full power out of this today, and we probably have limited traction, so might as well put all of our power down as best as we can. So we're just going to start off in hybrid mode. We have 3 different drive modes here on the left: hybrid, electric, and e-save. And hybrid just acts like a normal hybrid. Initial throttle tip-in to light throttle applications, you can pretty much drive this around on electric only power. We have 134 horsepower from those electric motors, and you can kind of see all of that visualized right here. Over here there's a regenerative braking button, which actually is pretty nice. I've been leaving that on for the most part all week, and you get a decent amount of regen off throttle. It won't completely bring you to a stop. You do have to apply the brake, but the brake-by-wire pedal feels pretty nice. There's a nice transition there between regen and pad on rotor. And the gas engine kicks on pretty seamlessly. There's so much tire, wind, and road noise that you don't really hear it running sometimes. And when you let off the throttle, it'll turn off. Let's drive it around in electric mode. You can see a little bit of an electric motor meter over here showing your power output and regenerative braking charge level. There's also a mode over here to the far right called e-save that will save or charge your battery using the 2-liter engine, and that is nice for if you're cruising on the highway for a long distance. You're going to hit the trail a little bit later. You want to charge up your battery and drive around in full electric mode. You can do that. Putting its power down really well in 4 auto. It's pretty impressive. This thing is quick. It's just a little bit more sluggish than the 392 Rubicon. It actually still feels a little bit overpowered for a Jeep. This chassis is not designed for 375 horsepower. Let's see if we can get these windows defrosted here. Let's switch over to electric-only drive mode and see how it handles acceleration in EV only. It'll only turn on the gas motor when you go full throttle. You can feel slight gear changes in EV mode, but they're pretty subtle. And you have enough power to get you up to speed in this Wrangler with electric only power. You go full throttle, the gas engine kicks on, and you're off. But there is a little bit of a delay, a slight lag. In electric mode, the gas engine will turn off at every opportunity. In hybrid, it'll kind of maintain a little bit more often. It will adapt to the most efficient driving. So if that means turning the engine on at highway speeds, that's what it's going to do. Generally, though, the transition between electric power and the gas engine kicking on is pretty seamless. There's a little bit of a delay, maybe about a second, And there's also just some inherent turbo lag from this 2-liter 4-cylinder. As you can hear, this still sounds like a Wrangler on the inside. It's pretty loud at speed, quite a bit of tire noise, road noise, wind noise. I think overall Jeep's done a pretty good job tuning this plug-in hybrid system. It seems to work pretty seamlessly and well in the background if you're just driving around normally day to day. You're going to be plugging this in a lot. That 22 miles of range gets eaten up pretty quickly with highway driving, and in the cold it lasts even less. But if that's not a problem for you, and you don't mind plugging in this Jeep every day or every night or every time you park it in the garage, it can be a pretty efficient driving experience. Basically, your mileage may vary depending on how you use this. If you drive a long distance, 50 miles or more to work, something like this isn't necessarily going to be worth it. You might be better served getting the diesel Wrangler or just the standard 2-liter turbo, save some money, save some weight. But if you have a shorter commute, and you can utilize most of that 20 to 22 miles of electric driving range, you could feasibly get 30, 40, 50 miles to the gallon in something like this. You do have to factor in that this is a less efficient Jeep than the normal 2-liter turbo, just because of that extra battery weight and complexity built into the powertrain. Let's get on the highway here, see how it handles some high-speed driving. So we are still in hybrid mode. Very light, very vague steering. Not a lot going on. Pretty typical, no surprises there with this Wrangler Rubicon. If I switch to full electric driving, we can maintain our speed pretty well at 70 miles per hour. We can even accelerate a little bit if we want to. But again, 134 horsepower doesn't go a long way at highway speeds in a Wrangler. It's also pretty loud in here with this cloth fold-back roof. If you want a little bit less wind noise and a bit more isolation, I would definitely swing for the hardtop. I would say besides the power level and besides the tech that's in this powertrain, there really isn't a whole lot that's revolutionary about this Wrangler. It doesn't change too much. Maybe it feels a little bit more solid, a little bit more balanced around corners, but we still have the same Wrangler driving characteristics. Not a whole lot going on the front end. We're circulating ball steering, doesn't give you a lot of feel, but again, off-road is where it really shines. I'm still always shocked whenever I get behind the wheel of these Jeeps how many people daily drive these, because they truly do feel like a driving experience from 30, 40, 50 years ago. They're charming and fun and exciting in a way because they are a little bit rudimentary on the road, or actually they're very rudimentary feeling on the road. You compare this to the way the new Bronco drives, for example, with the independent front suspension, and it's a night and day difference. It is a little bit sketchy at higher speeds, and the extra power from this powertrain does put you in those situations a little bit more often. You do have to be mindful of when you put your right foot down on this thing, because the chassis does not have the capability to handle 375 horsepower in braking zones, around corners, so you just have to be a little bit judicious, like you do in the 392 Rubicon. We'll put our battery into e-save mode and maybe charge it up a little bit. I do like how you get two different cruise control buttons in this Wrangler, one for radar adaptive cruise and another for just standard cruise. Super easy to enable both of them. The ergonomics in here are fantastic. This whole Uconnect system is responsive, quick, easy to use. Apple CarPlay integrates beautifully. Let's turn regenerative braking off and see how we like using just the brake pedal. This is about the limit of what I'm comfortable doing around this entrance ramp. Ooh, a little bit slippy out today too. Brakes feel pretty good on slush. This seems to coast quite a bit without the regenerative mode enabled. I'm going to turn that back on. You either get max regen or no regen off throttle. Let's put us down into too high. See how that affects acceleration. Leave traction control on here. Still might have a bit more pull at higher speeds in two-wheel drive high just because you don't have as much drivetrain loss with the transfer case spinning, but today I'm going to leave 4 auto enabled. It is cool that you can drive around in electric mode in any of these modes, 4 high, 4 low. Alright guys, well I think that's going to sum up our thoughts on the Rubicon 4xe. Really, whether to get this vehicle or not depends on how you're going to use it. If you are going to really be vigilant about charging it up every time you drive it, and you're not driving that many miles, and you like the idea of a plug-in hybrid where you can save some fuel for shorter trips, but also have the range that you need to drive as long as you want on gas, then this might be a pretty good option for you. If you're going to be doing a lot more long-distance driving, then the diesel or the standard 2-liter turbo, or even just the good old V6, might be a better option for just general fuel economy, efficiency, cost savings, though you could qualify for the tax credit on this, which would knock about $7,500 off the price. This Rubicon 4xe isn't cheap, but the technology here is very cool, and I have enjoyed driving it this week. I'm not sure if I'm still really sold on a Jeep as a daily driver. This is a fun vehicle, but dealing with the archaic driving dynamics on a daily basis just may not be for me. It is charming, but in this Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, it feels, I don't know, it's a little bit of a strange contrast between this new tech from the battery and hybrid technology and the way this car feels. It drives like something that's 50 years old. So I understand there are reasons for that, and this thing has all the off-road capability you could really need out of a vehicle. So that's really where this will shine. On road, though, it would be nice if Jeep improved the driving dynamics just to kind of come up to the level of maybe the Gladiator or the new Bronco. We'll maybe see that in the next generation. We'll see what Jeep does with this chassis. For now, though, this is a pretty cool offering in the off-roader market, the only one of its kind so far. So good on Jeep for bringing this first to market and having a plug-in hybrid option for those who want it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.